If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you about it. It's free, which is amazing. And there are these really cool creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you, so it's easy to be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get podcasts. And you get to make money with no minimum listenership, which is really cool. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started right away. Wellnesspreneurs, are you ready to stop side hustling and start making an income doing what you love? It's time to pull up a seat and align your third eye on the prize. Each week, we will have conversations with successful creatives in wellness, business, marketing, and more to uncover practical methods to take you from A to B. My name is Jessica Cross, and I am so excited to link arms with you and get started. Let's dive in. Hey guys, it's Jessica, and I'm back with another episode of Third Eye on the Prize. So good to be here with you. I hope you are having an awesome week wherever this finds you. Today, I'm going to be talking about my tips for productivity. So a little bit about me. I am still working a full-time day job, and it's a little bit more than full-time if I'm honest, but the nice thing is I work from home. And then also I teach yoga on the weekends, and I have my sound therapy offerings through my business Sound for Stress. So I'm a little pressed for time. I'm sure many of us can relate. It's, about finding these little chunks of time to get through our to-do lists in an efficient way, and also in a way that doesn't promote burnout. So I wanted to share a few things that have worked for me. And of course, things are continually evolving. And to be real, I still feel burnout sometimes, and that's when I know I need to step back a little bit. But when I'm feeling creative or I have a little bit more to give, that's when I want to maximize my time. So what I like to do is, you may have heard this technique before. It's batching tasks or chunking tasks, or putting like and like together. So if you're working on your Instagram content, as an example, maybe you want to schedule out, and it can be on paper or however a scheduler or whatever you use. Maybe you want to schedule out your Instagram content for the next week or more, depending on what your goals are and how much time you have. So that's like the concept of batching things. So you would create all of the content, any Canva graphics, write the captions, maybe even put them in drafts so you can open it up on the day and hit send. Or if you have something a little bit more complex, if you're using a scheduler app to send, you could totally put them in and get them scheduled so they launch really without you having to press a button. You could do all of your Instagram content for a week in like a year, all of your Instagram content in a week in a short block of time. So that's something that I do. I like to pick an afternoon or an evening or even a morning sometimes where I know I'm just going to have like an extra hour or so available to me, and I just bust through Instagram, or I bust through writing my emails. Another really cool trick that I figured out about myself over the years is I do really well in a time crunch. And sometimes I will enforce a time crunch upon myself to get through some work. So let's say I know that I'm really distracted that day, or I have some deadlines coming up and I need to get to a task that maybe I don't want to work on so much. So I will give myself a time limit, say, okay, Jessica, for the next 20 minutes, you're solely working on this one thing. You're working on this one Excel sheet, or you're writing this email for 20 minutes. And I can get very granular about it. I use, and you don't have to do this, but there are free apps out there that are basically a Pomodoro timer. If you're not familiar, that's 25 minutes on, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes on, 10-minute break. And that provides a lot of structure because I know that, hey, I can work on anything for 25 minutes. I know that I can work on anything for 20 minutes, whatever format I've given myself. And I know with these apps as well, it has the ability to basically keep you from scrolling on your phone. So it will give you this little notification that, hey, your timer is going to clear out if you happen to leave the app in the next few minutes or before your timer is up, which kind of gives you a little like, oh, sad face. Like I don't want to mess up my timer and start over. So I'll just focus back in when I try to scroll and remind myself, okay, it's only 10 more minutes or whatever it is. These little chunks of time have such power. It really will bring you into a hyper focus. And if you're a music person, I love to just have like a cool chill playlist going on just to minimize distraction. And so I have a distraction in my ears. I have distraction on my phone because I have the timer going. Or have the distraction off my phone rather because I have the timer going. And it really helps me focus. I also really like to set aside days. So I know like, hey, today, if I can get my top 3 things done or even my top 1 thing done some days, depending on what the rest of my schedule requires of me, how much time it's going to pull me away from things that I want to work on my business. So it's like, okay, if I can send that email today, I will feel good. Or if I can record a talk for you that day, then I will feel really good. And then other days, I just know that I have a little bit more space and I will do a morning and afternoon task as an example. These things have really helped me focus. And I know that when I'm pressed for time, I perform, and that's just my nature. So I wanted to bring that to you in just like a short little tidbit to see if it might help you. And if that's not how you work, you're like, that doesn't make sense, or like the kids are not on a Pomodoro time, Jessica, like that doesn't work. I would like to challenge you to sit with yourself for a few minutes and ask when you are most motivated and why. Is that the space that you're in, your like physical space? Is it the head space that you're in? Are you an early morning riser? Maybe you like to get up before the kids and the cat and get some things done before there's any distractions. Or maybe you're an evening worker. And it doesn't have to be hours. It can literally be, I'm going to get up 30 minutes before everybody else is, and I'm going to work on this one thing. And maybe that's your time crunch if it works for you. So that's what I have for you today. Just some productivity tips that have worked for me in balancing a lot of roles in my life with limited time and still being able to get things done. If you have any tips or tricks for me, I would love to hear them. You can DM me on Instagram. I'm at jessicacross.co. I'm always looking for tips, tricks, and hacks. Any way I can get a little bit more done in a way that feels spacious and not, burning myself out working hour upon hour around the clock for all the things that I need to do. So hit me up, send me a DM. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you have an awesome day. We'll talk soon. Thanks for listening to Third Eye on the Prize. Got an idea or something to share with Jessica? DM her on Instagram at jessicacross.co and let her know what's on your mind. We're so grateful for your support, especially as a small woman-led business. Please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time.